And I ran upstairs, turned on all the lights so she could see everything. And she's like blowing up my phone. She called me and I was like, hey, just come inside. And she was like, no, you need to get out of the house. She's like, I'm sensing something very evil in that house.
Welcome to the Spark Your Legacy podcast. My name is Kevin Andrade. I am the owner and founder of Spark Tax Services. And on this podcast, we talk to small business owners and entrepreneurs from various different industries to gain their perspective on how they started, their journey along the way, and where they are today. So here we go. Enjoy this episode. Welcome everybody to the Spark Your Legacy podcast. My name is Kevin Andrade. I'm your host. I'm the owner and founder of Spark Tax Services. And today we have a very special guest. We have Karina Flores from Flores Realty.
Hi, everybody.
How are you feeling, Karina?
I'm feeling great. Can't complain.
Great. Selling houses?
Yeah. Staying busy.
Still busy?
Yeah.
How's the market right now, would you say?
Right now, it's picking up. There's been like a lack of inventory, like nationwide.
What does that mean, lack of inventory?
So we don't have enough houses for all the buyers on the market. So we're seeing like multiple offers, bidding wars, people waiving inspections, things like that. Yeah, to get their foot in the door. And we're also noting like the interest rates are starting to pick back up.
I mean,
that's
not good.
Still it's still like an all-time low compared, to the previous years.
Yeah. But
we are creeping back up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know like everyone keeps talking about the real estate. The last 2 years was just like ridiculous.
It was insane. Yeah.
Would you say like you had like your best experiences, like your kind of, how were you before the pandemic? How are you after the pandemic as far as the reals from your perspective?
It's been steady. I will say during the pandemic, like when it first initially happened, everyone kind of like froze. They were like, should we buy? Should we sell? Should we just wait for...
It was like an awkward phase and no one did nothing. Everyone was in their house and
Yeah, it was like a month.
Yeah.
And then little by little, the interest rates dropped and people were like, oh my gosh, I can save hundreds a month if I buy now. So it started to pick up and it's been going. It's like a snowball effect. Everyone wants to get in while the interest rates are low.
So now the interest rates are going back up.
Yeah.
Do you think that would scare buyers away if they're interested?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just going to help calm everything down a little bit.
You must have been crazy busy then.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah.
Good. So quickly, I just want to get to some background from you. So you're a realtor.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this for?
I have 5 years now, officially in December. That just passed.
Awesome. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So as a realtor, not many know this, but you're actually self-employed.
Exactly.
Meaning that you have to pay your own taxes, you have to pay your own benefits, your healthcare, retirements, whatever it may be. Yeah. It's all on you, right?
Exactly.
Because you get paid like a 1099 versus a W-2 that's a normal company, right?
Yeah.
So walk me through the first time when you transitioned. Like, what was your old job before? Because I think you worked at a company, right? Beforehand?
Yeah.
A long time ago, 5 years?
Yeah, a long time ago.
What was that transition like from the corporate world and then going into full-time self-employed entrepreneur?
Yeah. So initially, when I was in high school, I did cosmetology. Not many people know. I did hair. I did that throughout college. I was working at a hair salon. So I was a W-2 worker and I would get tips.
Okay.
And so from there, they took out everything like taxes, 401k, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And so the checks were like, smaller. But then when I became self-employed, I didn't even realize that you have to take that out of your own account. Keep in mind that at the end of the year, you're going to have to pay that.
You have to owe taxes.
Yeah. So that, it's just something you get used to, and you have a good CPA on your side. They can help guide you and set up all your financials. But yeah, it's not too bad, once you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you made cosmetology, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was fun.
Did you take that in college, or is that something, did you go to college?
I did a trade in high school.
Okay.
So by the time I graduated high school, I was already licensed.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to, do hair immediately. I didn't have to go through any, cosmetology program because it was already done. So that was a lot of fun.
So right out of high school, you did cosmetology. For how many
Yes.
years would you say?
I would say it was like 3 years.
3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
While I was doing college. So it was like part-time.
You did both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in cosmetology. You're 3 years in.
Yes.
Like, what made the click? Like, why was it one day that you were talking to one of your clients and you're like, you know what, real estate does sound interesting? Like,
not at all.
No?
It's a crazy story. So, I mean, real estate was kind of unintentional, but in like a good way, I would say. Initially, I didn't always want to do hair. I was going to college.
Okay.
I wanted to get into the healthcare industry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I was going for my public health degree, and I wanted to be, helping out the community.
Like a nurse or?
Not my nurse degree. It was public health specifically. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that, but I just wanted to help the community.
Okay.
And so I had started that. I was in University of Maryland at Shady Grove. Okay. And I was there. My first semester, I found out I was pregnant. Totally freaked out.
Surprise.
I was not prepared. I was like, what am I going to do? I haven't even graduated. I don't have a steady career. Mm-hmm. So I was freaking out. But I had a really good support system. Okay. And Chris, my husband, who I was dating at the time, was like, you'll finish up. We'll have a baby. Things will be fine. We'll have each other. So I finished up my first year. I had one more year left. But God had a different plan. Mm-hmm. And
as it always is, right?
Yeah, it was a better plan. And I developed an autoimmune disease. Okay. So I couldn't physically go and work and do school at the same time. It was too much. And so I dropped out of college.
This is all during your pregnancy?
It was right after.
Right after.
So 2 months after having the baby, I got sick. Mm-hmm. And so I couldn't go back to school. I dropped out and I quit my job. And so it was kind of like a low point in my life. Mm. And I felt like I was at a crossroad. I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And so Chris was super encouraging. And I guess he saw something in me before I even saw it. Mm-hmm. He was like, why don't you just, join me in real estate? It's not as physically demanding as, cutting hair and going to school at the same time.
He was a realtor before?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
He had kind of just started, but he had a vision. Mm-hmm. And he was like, join me.
Yeah, which is now Flores Realty, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so I was like, okay, let's try it out. And the rest is history. Mm-hmm. I never looked back. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'll ever go back for my degree. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy experience, like a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a really good story. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. Interesting transition. So you're a realtor. It's your first year. So you're already working with your now husband. Yes. At the time. You're working, was it already Flores? Dating. You guys were dating?
Yeah. Okay. We hadn't branched out on our own yet.
Okay. So you're still with another name brand?
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Got it. And then, so when did Flores Realty kind of happen? What made you guys want to embark in that journey of being your own realty firm?
So it wasn't really my plan. Uh-huh. Chris had this idea because the industry is always evolving.
Yeah.
So when we decided to branch out on our own, it was when 2020 hit and it was coronavirus. Mm-hmm. And, we weren't really using, our office at the time that we had. We didn't really need the branding that they offered us. I mean, it was okay for some people, but we didn't need it. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, we can really expand on our own. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to bring in some people under us and they would have had to pay all these fees, monthly fees. And we were like, it doesn't make sense for them. How are we going to help them grow with us? Yeah. And so that's when he was like, I'm just going to open up shop. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did. And so I was mainly supporting.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that was 3 years into your real estate career?
Yeah. Okay. So I was very nervous.
Very nervous.
Yeah. But I was all for it, support your partner and whatever.
What were you nervous about?
Because being your own business person. It all falls on you, kind of. So I didn't really know what to expect.
Versus before, you were kind of with like a brokerage firm.
Yeah.
So they were kind of handling some admin stuff.
Exactly.
So
like insurance and everything, like the systems. So it was a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in your firm, you're 3 years in. Do you have any like crazy stories you want to share? Like, what is your
crazy stories?
What's your craziest real estate story that you can think
I have
of?
so many. I can share a few.
You can share one. Yeah.
One of the craziest is actually, I had a person reach out to me, and they were looking to buy a house, and I was like, yeah, I would love to help you. We met in person, and I ended up selling them a home. And then afterwards, they're like, you need to come over. You need to come to our housewarming and meet our friends. And
this is after you already sold the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, I need to be, business-like and, don't overstep. But eventually we became like the best of friends. Oh. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Me?
Yeah. You guys. Yeah. You and your wife, Samena.
Yep.
And now I'm here sitting with you, and we both started our own businesses.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was awesome, because not every day you meet people online and you create this beautiful relationship. Like, we're like family now.
Right. Yeah.
So that was one of like the best experiences.
Well, thank you for putting us at the top of the list.
Yeah. And then, I have like a scary one too.
Okay.
So I went to go show a house to a lady, and I got into the property. It was a foreclosure. So it was, it needed some TLC.
Yeah.
And I ran upstairs, turned on all the lights so she could see everything. And she's like blowing up my phone. She called me, and I was like, hey, just come inside. And she was like, no, you need to get out of the house. She's like, I'm sensing something very evil in that house. And so I ran back upstairs to turn off the light. It was already off. And I was like,
that's kind of creepy.
I am out. And so I shut the door and I never looked back. I was like, what happened? What did you sense? And she's like, just a really evil presence.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, I was in there by myself. But yeah.
That's pretty creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So, Flores Realty. How did you come up with the name?
So our last name, Flores.
Okay, yeah.
And
makes sense.
Yeah. And so we have like a rose. That's kind of our...
the logo?
The logo, yes. Couldn't think of the word. And basically with the rose, it's beautiful when you look at it, but it's also fierce because it has like the thorns. And so that's like a mixture. And we like that a lot because, a rose can grow from like the concrete. Yeah. So or from dirt, So that was our idea. Like the rose is coming up.
Wow, that's pretty creative.
Growing, yeah.
Who came up with that?
Mostly Chris.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's the idea man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the funny thing is my first name is Flor. So it's flower. And then the last name is Flores. So it's like flowers in English. So I do always think of myself as like a flower too, like blossoming and growing and becoming the best version you can be.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So if you quickly can tell me about a time for someone who's, it could be real estate related or just someone the self-employed world. So you know kind of the transition of being your own boss, or just kind of the transition from being somewhere safe to not being so safe, and kind of going through those motions of like, are we going to eat next month?
Exactly.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Tell me about a time when you were in the moment where you were kind of questioning your mind of like, is this going to work? Where you were like, maybe we shouldn't have left. Maybe we should have stayed with our old brokerage firm.
It's hard to say because I haven't really had that time yet. I guess because I kind of always had Chris as the back.
So you guys kind of complement each other.
Yeah. And
when you have doubts, he's kind of like, there's a strong one to...
Or like if he has doubts, I'm there supporting him too. It's vice versa. We kind of don't let ourselves get in the rut. Yeah. So it's...
And that's good.
I mean, it's the truth. I don't know.
Yeah. That's good. You have some yin and yang. So you guys kind of just support
Exactly.
each other because you guys are building the business together,
Yeah.
right? Husband and wife.
I would say I'm more of the worry wart than he is.
The worry wart?
Yeah.
What is that?
The one that worries more.
Oh.
I'm probably the one that freaks out or worries more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's not too often.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So I guess having maybe a mentor or a partner to kind of just constantly support each other.
Definitely.
Was that something you would recommend potentially?
I highly recommend that. Like before signing on to any company, you know, you want to make sure that you guys have you're on the same page. You know what to expect from them and they know what to expect from you. And you guys come to an agreement how you're going to make the business work for you. So, yeah.
Okay.
And
awesome.
I guess I was fortunate to have a mentor.
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Awesome. So Flores Realty. I mean, we could talk about Flores Realty or we could talk about Karina, whatever you want to go to. Where do you see Karina a year from now or 3 years from now in the real estate game? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Like, what are your goals and aspirations?
Oh, I guess my goals are to continuously help people. You know, I want to increase the numbers, how many families I'm getting into new homes. I would love to get a ton more listings, help, I guess, grow our team of realtors. That would be nice. Right now, we're kind of like building a good foundation.
Right.
That's the main thing. You know, with a new company, you have to have a strong foundation before you explode. You know, you have to have a lot of organization and systems to keep things in place.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm happy you said that because a friend, I just had a client come in last week and his company has scaled tremendously. Yeah. So, but the systems aren't there.
Yeah, and you'll start to see the weaknesses.
He can't find the workers, and he's working. Well, as an entrepreneur, you don't really have a set schedule, right? You just kind of work when you work.
It's continuous.
We'll touch on that in a bit. So he kind of was scaling really, really fast, getting these big contracts for his cleaning company, and then all of a sudden he needs more workers because the contracts are coming in. But if you had maybe taken a step back with the growth to kind of scale the foundation, like you mentioned, maybe a better system would have been in place to absorb the extra work.
Exactly. Kind of went through that last year too when we were getting a lot of business and contracts, and it's good, but you're constantly like stretching yourself too thin. So we did have to find, you know, someone to help with the transactions and help coordinate things for us. But finding a good one is not always easy too. So we've gone through a few, and
it's trial and error.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, because you are an entrepreneur, as a realtor, would you say like your hours are the same as a normal job, or I know your realtors are kind of sporadic. Do you work more? Do you work less? Like, what do you like about being having your own, making your own hours?
Yeah, I mean, there's some flexibility to it, but I find myself constantly working, like all the time. Like someone will message me or call me, and I gotta pick up. I gotta, you know, search something because it's kind of time sensitive. So I don't like to put things off and like, let's just go see the house on the weekend. I want to see it now, today. Are you available? Let's go.
You were saying that, or the client says that to you?
No, me.
Okay,
I say that. Let's go. We got to go now.
Yeah.
Because the way the market is right now, it doesn't wait for anybody. So you kind of have to, you know, go.
Yeah.
You have to drop everything. So that's a little bit challenging because I do have 2 kids and I want to have them in activities, but then I'm like, I can't commit because I might have to go, you know, show a house. So having support, you know, is huge help. Like my mom or Chris. So it is a bit challenging, but you know, you make your way figuring things out. Who can help me? Yeah.
Because I think it's very important to set aside, because you want your family time. Exactly. But at the same time, you don't want to lose a sale or lose a client because that's your livelihood, right?
Exactly.
So you can't really I guess setting boundaries sounds like it's
hard. Yeah. I don't really have good boundaries right now. But I don't really mind it.
Okay.
So it just depends on the person. I know some people will like don't text me after 9. But I'm a night owl, so that works for me.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned support system. And Chris, you have 2 kids, 2 wonderful kids. I know them. My son plays with them,
including Flores Realty.
So how do you kind of, can you touch a little bit more about how you're kind of handle your work-life balance, essentially?
Definitely. So when I first started real estate, I only had 1 son. So it made it a little bit more manageable, but I did need someone to watch him. So I found someone who was watching kids for a low price, helped out in the beginning, but now I do have 1 in kindergarten. Yeah. So he's kind of, taken up there. And then so we have like after school help too. And then I have daycare for the little one. So I really don't know how I do anything without both of those. Yeah.
To establish those things, school and daycare and childcare and all that.
But in the beginning, it's hard. So, yeah, it's been a challenge.
Do you mind sharing the story in the beginning, like when you guys were starting out, trying to, like the craziness that's going on?
My poor mom, she works part-time, so she only works like a few hours a day. Okay. So I was like, Mom, can you help me with baby? So it was constantly my mom. She was there.
Superhero. Super grandma.
Super grandma. They have like this bond that is untouchable because of that. Firstborn? Yeah, with my firstborn. They're like yin and yang. They're always like, I want to see Yaya. And she's always like, how's my baby? I'm like, that's my baby. But she was there a lot. And then afterwards, we did find like a cousin's friend who was watching kids. And that helped a lot because she didn't charge too much. So it was like, I want to say like $25 a day. Okay. So it was, whoa, that's cheap. I know. It was very, helpful. But I had to make sure that whatever I paid, those $25, whatever I did during the day had to be worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
So having support system and also being efficient with your time, it sounds like
exactly. Yeah.
And then also as a realtor, it sounds like you also have to be always available as an entrepreneur in general, always available to everyone. And I know you're traveling soon. Yes. And it's a much needed time, I'm sure. Away vacation. Is this going to be your first vacation in like how long?
In like since 2020. Well, no, even before that. It's probably been like 3 years since we've done anything.
As a family?
Yeah. Wow. So I'm very excited. Yeah. We're going to Peru. But the nice thing is we do have like a team now. So we can have someone stay here and help us manage things while we're away. Yeah. And a lot of real estate can be done, remotely. Really? Like the contracts and the back end stuff, scheduling things. It can be done out of state, but it's more so like
disconnecting too, though. You want to disconnect?
A little bit.
You're still gonna work?
I'm still gonna work. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to not work.
Yeah. I guess that's just the entrepreneurship vibes, right? You just got to keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. So 3 years without a vacation. Sounds pretty normal, especially like you said, like you probably couldn't have taken a vacation in the beginning, right? Because you're just starting out. So again, setting the foundations, the systems in place.
So, I mean, like starting a business, you sacrifice a lot. You put a lot on the side. You don't go out as much, you don't get to hang out with family as much, especially on the weekends, because with real estate, we work when
that's your prime time, right?
Yeah, we work when people are off or available. So I miss out on a lot of that. And I think a lot of people used to judge me for that, but now they see that it's because I'm doing it for my kids' future.
Is it worth being an entrepreneur? Is it worth the available, the constant, the worries before in the beginning? Looking back at it now, where you started to where you are today, would you say it's been worth it?
For me personally, it has been 1,000% worth it. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't change it. Yeah. For some people, it might not be what they want. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you just decide to do on the weekends. Or, I mean, some people can, I guess. It works for them. But for me, it's like I'm going all in. So it's a lifestyle. And it's been worth it. It's given me everything I have now.
Great. Which is great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I just want to, first of all, thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming out.
Of course, I'm so happy.
So there's one question we ask everyone who comes through to the podcast. So what are 3 key pieces of advice would you give a aspiring someone who's like right on the edge of wanting to be a realtor, but they're not too sure to jump into it? It could be towards a realtor specifically or just entrepreneurs in general.
Okay, so first I would say, don't be scared of being uncomfortable. I used to be so scared to go meet people that I didn't know.
Okay. Like out of your comfort zone, stepping out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, I was really out of my comfort zone. But I knew that if I didn't, I would eventually get accustomed to it. So with anything new, it's scary, you're nervous, you might mess up, failure is part of it. Yeah. That's how you grow. Yeah. So that's the main thing. Don't be scared of being uncomfortable. And then number 2, I would say find your support. You know, find a company or a mentor, someone that you know is going to help you, someone that you can lean on when you need help. So being self-employed can be scary. So it's nice to have, you know, someone that can relate to you or understand what you're going through. And then I would say number 3 is finding a good CPA. Yeah, because the financing aspect it's important. You want to have everything organized, and sometimes you don't know if something's a write-off or can it be a business expense. So having someone to guide you and tell you, hey, you need to do this or you need to stop spending here, that kind of thing. I don't know if you want to throw anything else in there for realtors.
For taxes?
Yeah.
Oh, we can go all day.
Coming up.
We can go all day. But for the 3 things, I think you said, so you got stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Be okay with mistakes. Be okay with the failures, because then that's where you learn to grow, right?
Exactly.
Then you believe the second one was support system.
Yes.
So having a good support system, make sure that's set up, good to go. I guess it could be family, daycare, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then the third one, I believe, was mentorship. I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can get a mentor, I mean, it's really hard to. I know I've had so many people ask me, like, will you mentor me? And I'm like, I would love to, but I just can't because kids and work, and I would be like stretching myself too much. So. But
I'm putting mentorship in there for CPA, but yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Well, thank you, Karina, so much for joining me again. I appreciate it. And good luck to your success.
Thank you, you too.
Awesome. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe to follow for more content and for our future episodes. Thank you.